All right, it is finally time to do a pantry haul, clean out, cull, whatever you want to call it. I have not been living in alignment with the way that I want to eat, and I'm noticing that my food addiction, that's what I'm going to call it. I truly feel like it is an addiction. And when it arises, it's really hard to kick it. When I'm fat adapted and Brian brings things into the house, it's really, really easy to not get into food that I don't want to have. But once I've fallen off and started becoming more dependent on this cat. Once I've become more dependent on food that's not satiating, it's not satisfying me and filling me up quickly, it's more based around sugars or starchy foods, it's very easy to indulge and indulge and indulge. So I've already started, as you can see, I have stuff all over the counters and I have a drawer open, but I knew that I wanted to film this, so I cleaned one drawer out so far. I put some stuff in here. I vacuumed it out and wiped it down. I'm also trying to get stuff off of on top of my fridge because I feel like it just looks cluttered in here when it's looking like, when it has stuff on top of it. So I want to get that cleaned up and I want to clean this out. It is getting dark, so I'm sorry that the lighting may not be as beautiful in this video. I also probably won't finish today, but I'll pick back up here wherever I leave off and show you the finished work. And let's get into it. First, turn on the above lights. So what I am removing from my kitchen, or what I would recommend removing from your kitchen if this is your first time doing it, I don't currently have it in my kitchen. Just because I became paleo about 8 years ago, is any oils that are refined processed oils. So currently I do have some leftover olive oil. If you're going to keep olive oil, that's okay, but I recommend only using it in things that aren't cooked. So like if you're gonna do dressings, stuff like that is totally fine to use olive oil. It doesn't have a super high cook point. And in a lot of the schooling that I've been doing, it's showing, a lot more research is showing that processed oils can actually be worse for you than sugar. So it's really something to keep in mind. I definitely noticed that when I was keto and I was eating super high quality oils, when I went to a restaurant to eat, I definitely could tell the difference from a fast food restaurant and a non-fast food restaurant, because after I would eat at a fast food restaurant, I would feel absolutely awful. So it's definitely something that's affecting your body. We also have extra virgin olive oil. Again, this is only something that we use to make like mayonnaise or homemade aioli, which is mayonnaise, and just things that aren't cooked. So we still have olive oil in our pantry, but for the most part now we literally only use ghee, butter, and fat. So when we make bacon, we save the fat and use it for cooking. Beef tallow is really great. Any kind of tallow. Even better if you can get it where it's grass-fed beef tallow. So the better quality in what you're cooking with, the better your food is going to be and the better your body is going to be for it. So again, I don't have anything like that in my pantry right now. I'm realizing how much of a mess I have out when I started this video. But I'm going to take things out and kind of like wipe them down. I do also have coconut oil, which we have had sitting in our pantry for a super long time. To be honest, we never use this for cooking anymore. I have, when I was keto, I did use this for fat bombs, which is really nice, but there's hardly anything in here, and for the most part, I typically just use it to remove any like stubborn eye makeup that's like not coming off. This is literally all we have in here. It's like almost not even enough to keep the jar. But I wouldn't even recommend cooking with coconut oil if you can help it. If you're lactose intolerant, you can cook with either ghee, which is clarified butter. Most people will be okay with that. If you have a very strong allergic reaction to milk products, then you can use beef fat or duck fat. There's a lot of different fats that you can use that are going to be just as great for you to cook with without affecting your system. Okay, the next thing that I want you to consider getting rid of is any grains. So I have this oat flour sitting in my pantry. I think we pulled it out for Christmas. Brian made some paleo waffles and it used oat flour. But we really don't need this anymore in our house. So this can go back. We have like a place outside of the home that we keep any like paleo flours that we might use on a very, very special occasion. But this does not need to be at my home tempting me to make something that I don't need. So I am making a pile for Brian to take things. So I would say that grains are one of the things that I have pretty much totally cut. I will probably never go back to having wheat in my diet just because it's so processed. And I just don't need that in my life. The next thing that I recommend getting rid of is sugary things. Anything with sugar probably shouldn't be in your house. Tempting you. I have pretty much destroyed the the bad chocolate that was in here, and now I only have this 88% dark chocolate, which only has, let's see, it has 3 grams of sugar for 2.5 servings. So 2.5 servings, sorry, a serving size is 9 pieces. So 2.5 is like 18, like 20 pieces. It's like half of this bar. Anyways, I'm not gonna eat half of this bar ever, so I feel really confident in keeping that as like my indulgent thing that's not super indulgent. It's like that little give, that little in between. But the thing about keeping it in your home is like you can make goodies with it, you know? And you don't want to be tempted to do that. So I would really like to be keto carnivore. That is kind of like my ultimate goal. And part of being carnivore is that you can have a small amount of honey. But I don't feel like this is serving me right now. And this is a tough one because I feel like it's really good in my yogurt if I do a teaspoon. So I think I need to think about that a little bit more. Like, do I actually want to get rid of this? Honestly, I would recommend, if there's anything in your pantry that you look at and you're like, if this stays in here, am I going to have more of it than is healthy for me? And if the answer is yes, it should go in your trash. Like, it should go in your trash, or it should go somewhere that's super hard for you to get to, that you hate getting to, like that you absolutely despise getting to. Like if you hate getting into your attic, or you hate walking out, like our storage is out way outside, and I hate going out there. Like I will refuse to go out there and get it. And thank God I'm fucking lazy, because that means that I'm not going to go out and try to cheat. Okay, so think about that. I for sure probably don't need that much honey though, if I do keep it. The way that I like to clean out my pantry, or in this case, my cupboards or my drawers, is that I like to remove everything out from inside of them, fully clean them out, and then go through each item. Now, if you're doing a quick, like super quick overhaul, I totally understand if you don't want to do this with every single one, but my drawers need to be clean. I haven't cleaned them since, I don't know, probably a year, and they just need it. So I am taking everything out, including the bins that hold stuff inside of them. Super gross, super dirty, need to be cleaned. In my opinion, this is the perfect time to reassess where things are and if the place that they are makes sense. So right now I have my coffee drawer over there, which is where my coffee maker used to be. But when I set up all my Christmas decorations, I moved my coffee maker over here, and I've actually really been enjoying how big of a space I have for my coffee stuff. So I'm actually going to move the coffee drawer over here and maybe organize it just a little bit differently so it holds some of the stuff that I feel like I really want it to. Alright, this is the perfect example of something I need to get rid of. So this is technically a gift for our chiropractor, but this was something we were supposed to give as a gift. We bought it hoping we would give it as a gift, knowing that it was super tasty, but we brought it home and it was so tasty we couldn't help but open it. And look at how much has gone. So this is something that I have been using as, instead of the honey, I have been putting some of this in my yogurt. This is an unhealthy option. If I decide to keep this and put a teaspoon of it in my yogurt, I'm not going to super affect myself by doing that. By doing this, however, this is a ton of sugar. You need to add a lot of it to be able to have that really great flavor coming from it. So this is one of the things that I am getting rid of. I'm sorry. You have been tasty. It's day 2 of cleaning out the pantry. So After 3 weeks of having a pretty clean countertop area, this is hard to look at. This is like really, it was so hard to go to sleep and not try to finish. But at the same time, I was exhausted, so I didn't really want to. Today, we are getting back at it. I have this drawer over here that needs to be cleaned. It's probably the messiest of them. It's pretty bad, pretty bad. I did finish this one yesterday, which this is our biggest drawer. But I think what I'm gonna do is just evict everything out of this drawer and go through each of the little bins, clean them, and clean out the drawer and then organize it. I haven't put a lot of this back because I'm still trying to figure out how things are gonna go together in each drawer since I'm getting rid of things and adding things into containers that weren't in containers before. But like all of these are just so dirty. They need to be cleaned so bad. This is a good sign of a carnivore. I've already taken 2 bins out that said like a nut on them. This one's almonds, that one's pecans. They're both empty. Slivered almonds, pretty much just dust in there, like barely anything. That can go in the trash. Handy dandy vacuum. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'll move some of this stuff over. That way I can organize things by area of where I want to put them together. So like anything that's baking would all go together. All of this stuff goes together. And then like maybe a pile of stuff that I don't necessarily want to have in here anymore. Feel like I need to get on here and be super real. We had lunch and something about it made me feel so foggy and so out of it. I'm still not feeling good, but I felt like I'd come on here and just tell you. Honestly, the only thing that I think that could have made me feel bad is the oil that I cooked with. So we have this oil that's sitting here. I've kind of been wondering what it's for, but I made our eggs in it. So I made sausage and eggs, and neither of those things should make me not feel good. But yeah, I use that oil that's been sitting there that hasn't like set. You know, usually oil will kind of like get hard, especially during the winter season. And this hasn't, and it's a strange color, so I'm not really sure what it's from. It might have been from fast food or probably something when we weren't like sticking to our diets very well or like sticking to eating super healthy. So for sure I'm gonna toss that when I feel better, but for now I'm just gonna take a break, drink a lot of water, and just try to feel better. And if I feel better today, I'll come back here and keep working on this. If I don't, Well, let's just hope that I feel better because it's a mess right now. But, yeah, I feel really bad. So, see you guys in a bit. I still feel like absolute dog poop, but I also know that realistically there is so much that needs to happen, and tomorrow's Friday, and I just know like I have a lot to do tomorrow that I'm not going to be able to work on this, and I'm for sure not going to want to do it on the weekend. So currently I am going to make some hard-boiled eggs to prep my fridge for preparement for tomorrow, since we will pretty much be out of everything that is naughty by that point, hopefully. And I'm gonna start filling some of these containers, drying them out, continue cleaning them. I'm gonna put on a show and just take you guys along. I may not be talking to you very much just because I'm not feeling great, but I will when I think there's something important to share.
camera?